Hi everybody, this is Michelle with Creative Operation, and I have a fun tutorial for you today. And what we're going to do is start with a walkthrough, and then we'll dive into the tutorial on how I made the pages, and then I'm going to show you a bit that is how to lay the pages into the book using my L-hinge system. And I really hope you enjoy this. And I do have to give a shout out to Peggy. Peggy reached out to me and asked me if I could make like a through the years album, something that was big enough to hold a lifetime worth of memories with your family. And I had this paper collection in my stash for quite a little while, and this was the perfect opportunity to do this. So I designed this book for Peggy, and she did graciously say that, she wanted a tutorial. She wants to make it herself, and that I could share this with everybody else. So thank you, Peggy, for asking. I really appreciate you doing that and having faith in me. And let's get started with the tutorial and the walkthrough. I hope that you really like it. This is a large album, guys. This did take quite a bit of paper. I believe I used 3 collections of Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Essentials, which is the collection that I used, and a lot of the ephemera. And again, I had this in my stash for a long time and really enjoyed working with it. This made a really great album for, this type of album, a through the years album, something that would hold many, 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 many years of memories. It has lots of pockets, lots of folds, lots of everything. So this album is big. Again, like I said, it took about, I want to say 30 sheets of cardstock as well. And I have all that written down below, and I do have a cut guide down below. It is 8 by 10 inches tall, and it has a 3-inch spine. It holds, is it 3? Did I say that right? Yeah, 3. And it has 5 pages, and it's just ginormous. And I love it. I just absolutely love it. So here's the cover. So on the cover, I kept it pretty simple. And with this paper collection, I did have some ephemera and things, chipboard pieces, things like that, that came with the collection. The only thing I think I added was seam binding ribbon, and then I did add some enamel dots that I had in my stash. Everything else is the collection, and it turned out beautiful. Used black cardstock for the base of this, and it's gorgeous. So these were flowers from the collection. I did bump them up into 3 layers with foam dots, and then added the little butterfly and the bead. And then this is a chipboard piece here. And then on the cover here, I did use my corner rounder scallop, and then I added the enamel dots. I did add some black satin ribbon for the closure, and then I'm going to open this up flat so you can see the whole outside of the album. Again, kept it pretty simple for the decorations. The back is the same as the front, except for no, ephemera. And then I had this really pretty little chipboard from the collection that I put right in the middle. And I just wanted to keep it nice and simple, nostalgic, that kind of thing. I wanted to keep it nice and simple. So when you open it up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do 2 of these graduated alternating page assemblies, and then we have our 5 pages. So let's start here. Has a seam binding closure, and then these pages do alternate in not only size but on the sides. So we start here, and it opens up. I did use some cardstock to make some photo mats, and then you can tuck your photo in under here, underneath the ephemera. Lots of room for pictures. I like the fact that this has a lot of room, so you can hold a lot. These frames are 4 by 6, the bigger ones, the biggest ones. And you'll just have to trim your pictures down just a little bit, but it works really, really well. These are done so you can tuck your picture underneath. I used some of the pattern paper for some photo mats as well. Okay. Great big journaling spot, which is something that I loved about this paper collection. This is awesome. It also had some pieces that looked like clipboard pieces. And again, you can tuck your picture underneath there. And then the back here is this big area here where you could put several photos if you wanted to, depending on the size. I just love it. And then it just closes up alternately. And so you can see all the beautiful papers that are in this collection as well. And I just thought that was really pretty. And we're going to have one of those on the front and in the back. So I'll show you the back one when we get to it. Then that just ties shut with seam binding. And then we have our pages. So all of the base pages are made the same. And but they have different waterfall features on the backs of them. So pages 1, 3, and 5 have horizontal waterfalls, and then pages 2 and 4 have vertical waterfalls. So you have lots of room. So let's start with each page. Again, the base page is made the same. So you're going to make those exactly the same. And then you'll make 3 horizontal waterfalls and 2 vertical waterfalls. And then you'll make 2 of these assemblies here. And then the rest is go to town and have fun. So in each of the pockets, I put one of the cut aparts. They had a bingo cards, and that was pretty much the only cut apart they had for this collection. So each pocket got one of those. I did make out of some scraps some kind of faux Polaroids, because there's lots of kind of like Viewmaster and photographs and things like that in here. So I used some of the scraps for that. Great place for a photo. The tag here, this is a 3x6 tag, and because of this paper collection, I did choose to use these little pieces that looked like bulldog clips instead of doing ribbon for a tag. These are meant to be tags, so you could do that and do a tag shape and then tie ribbons, but because I had those, I really wanted to use them. I did ink everything, so I inked the back of the chipboard so it didn't look like chipboard, and created tags like that. And then in each pocket, you also have a 4x6 photo flip, and then I used like decorations here with the die cuts and whatnot. Each page on the front has 2 flaps for 2 pictures, and then on the inside, after I was done making everything, I went through my scraps and I made some more photo mats. And I think these ended up being a little bit bigger because I had bigger scraps. So these are 4.5 by 6.5, so they'll hold a really nice 4x6 picture here on the front and the back, and that tucks in underneath the front. Decorated the fronts of the pockets real simple. I'm gonna make sure I'm in frame here. Okay, there we go. And then it just closes like this, lots of room for photos, and then all of these tuck into the pocket to help keep those flaps shut, and I think it looks really good. All right, so then on the back, each page has a full-size pocket, okay? So you have lots of room to put some photos here. And then you have this waterfall assembly here. It's simply glued to the page, so there's no pockets behind. There is an extra special little surprise, though. I kept the pages simple. And there's a lot of photo opportunity here. But then this also opens up into another area to put lots of photos. So instead of having another pocket, we have an opening there. So all of the horizontal ones are done the same. I did not put pattern paper on anything but the fronts, because I thought you could put a photo here and put photos down in the insides. And because there's so many places, I didn't want to bulk it up with pattern paper and make it too bulky for when you finally get pictures in there. Between the gussets, the paper collection had these rulers, so I cut those out and used those as the gusset covers, okay? So again, this is a 1/2-inch gusset page with the 1/4-inch give space to kind of help with the page turns. So next pocket here, another chipboard piece, and then another bingo card, another Polaroid, another tag. I love how that turned out. Oh my gosh. And then another photo flip, okay? So there's that. And then these pages open up. And then here's your other photo mat. All right, so I'll go through these quickly because these are, all the same. All right, you can put as however much you want in these pockets. Now on the backs of 2 and 4, you have a vertical waterfall here. And on this one here, I did decorate a little bit because I had some really cool die cuts. And then this one has a little tag that I did put behind there. I thought that was kind of fun. And then again, these are all blank on the inside to make sure you have enough room for photos, okay? And then it flips up, and then you have a room back here as well. But then this is also built on a belly band, so you could tuck more things behind there. I went ahead and made a booklet that just pulls out. I didn't do anything on the inside. I was getting to the point where I was starting to run out of pattern paper, but I did cover the front and the back. But that gives you lots of leeway depending on the papers you're using, you know, for journaling, to put your photos, to make layouts. You could do a 6x8 layout on each side. On the inside, I thought it would be really cool. So not only do you have the pocket, but you also have the belly band on this page as well. Okay, next, pocket, making sure I'm in frame. Again, Polaroid, bingo card, everything's different. I tried to use up all of my bits and pieces here. And then this opens up like so. And then we have this in there. Okay. And I think this paper collection was good. You know, like I said, it used a lot of paper. I used about 3 packs of, I'm not going to open that up because it's going to be blank on the inside, but again, this is another horizontal. I did use about 3 paper collections, so that's about 36 sheets of pattern paper. Black artisan cardstock, I used, I want to say about 32-ish sheets, 32 sheets. It was a lot, so make sure you have enough paper for that. And then I added a little bit more for the Polaroids because I was out. But there you have it. And then I went back through my scraps and kind of, you know, added some things in. There you go. It says take the photo. I just love how this turned out. So another one here, this has one of the die cut chipboard pieces on top. So it looks like it's a clipboard, which is really cool. And it has a little bit of a dimension. Again, every page has a back pocket. Here's this one here. And then here, I hope you like this, and I hope Peggy likes this too. This has a ton of room for everything. So you could put so many pictures in here. You could put documents in here. There's plenty of places to be able to do journaling. If you used like different papers, like maybe you could use a white pen on the black. You could, if you used white paper, you could use, you know, a black pen, whatever, but lots of pockets. And then the back page, again, has another one of the alternating graduated pages here. So let me make sure that's all in frame. Isn't it pretty? So some of them here, I did use pattern paper for photo mats. Here is cardstock. This is just a tag from the collection. I thought I'd tuck that in there, but again, the picture can go underneath. Another pattern paper here. This little assembly here, which I thought was fun. And then a lot of journaling space too, because you got to have some journaling space. You got to be able to write dates, names, things like that. And then the last one here, I matted the black with that piece of pattern paper behind it. And I thought that was really pretty. So again, it just closes and alternates. And it gives you peeks of what's underneath, and I just love it. So this book is amazing. It's awesome. I think so. I hope you guys do too. I think this is a great book. Has a lot of opportunity for photos and a lot of room for many, many years of memories. So Peggy, I hope you like it. Let's get started with the tutorial and I'll show you how to make it.